Hi, Miriam Zacharias here, and I am sitting with Dr. Lise Alschuler, who has been selected to be NANP's opening keynote at our upcoming conference. Lise, I'm so excited to be here talking to you today.
And I'm excited to be here talking with you, Miriam.
Well, why I'm excited is you're going to give us a little sneak preview here of your talk title, which is applying the science and holism of happiness to clinical practice.
Yes.
So, love this topic, and my question to you is, why did you pick this topic, and why do you feel it's so important for the nutrition profession?
Well, this topic, I believe, is revolutionary, potentially to the healthcare system, most certainly to practitioners of all stripes, nutritionists included. Most of the way that we practice nowadays is very much focused on the dis-ease of our clients, and then we apply skillfully, but we apply therapies to remove or to assuage the dis-ease that they experience. And that's all fine and good, but I believe we're missing a huge, huge opportunity, which is to instill happiness in people. Now, that may be somewhat confusing because you may think, well, we're born with a certain quotient of happiness or not. But in fact, research is actually showing that there is a lot that we can do to augment and to increase our sense of happiness, and that we as practitioners are in a unique position to kind of create an environment that allows people to learn how to be happier. To do that, of course, we have to be happier ourselves.
Of course.
So part of this talk is about also giving people some insight into how they currently practice as nutritionists, and to incorporate some of the newer concepts of positive psychology and happiness work to learn how to experience greater happiness and fulfillment themselves, which will definitely translate into their work with patients.
That is so phenomenal, and I just love your approach to this whole idea of happiness. You know, it's an area that I'm interested in too. So, somebody who attends your talk then, what would you say the top 2 to 3 takeaways are going to be for them?
So one thing is that what I don't want to do is to give people sort of this lofty idea and then to have them just have this mumble jumble of ideas and sort of try to figure it out. So I'm going to be very pragmatic, and I'm going to just drill right down into how can we implement some of these concepts in our practice tomorrow. And that, I think, is going to be a big takeaway. I'm also going to expand people's idea, perhaps, of what happiness means. You know, happiness is not equal to joy. It can be.
It's not running around laughing all the time.
Telling jokes and all that. Nope. It's actually, there's lots of different ways to think about happiness. One definition I like a lot is that happiness is composed of having a sense of pleasure, so that's the joy component, but it also is composed of having a sense of purpose in life and a sense of pride in who we are in this world. So that's just an inkling, but there's lots of ways to think about happiness, and with an expanded idea of what happiness is, it allows us to really start to see the elements of happiness already seeded throughout our lives, both personally and professionally, and to grow those more fully. So that's another takeaway. And I think a third takeaway is I'm going to also highlight some very specific nutritional strategies that are linked to happiness. So it'll be directly relevant to the practice of nutrition as well.
That's phenomenal. That I really want to hear.
Yes.
So, how have you personally incorporated happiness into your life, into your work, and what outcome would you say that you've seen as a result of that?
So I came to this topic and interest actually because I was feeling a bit burned out in my practice, and for whatever reason, went back to some books that I'd had from a long time ago on positive psychology, and which is a very unique and interesting application of psychology work, and really started to understand that there was potential to apply those principles to clinical practice, healthcare practice. Started to look through that and think about those translational applications and really transform my practice. As a result, I got less burned out. My patients started to have a totally different experience. Now, mind you, I have patients that are quite ill in my practice. And what I started to see was more and more often, by the time my visits were done, the person on the other end of the visit, the patient, was feeling in a different space, was opened, was more present, was more optimistic, was more hopeful, and that the experience itself had transformed their health. And that, to me, is the holy grail of healthcare. So that all came from applying the principles of happiness to my practice.
Oh my God, that's amazing. And we all know how important happiness is to health.
Absolutely.
In the end, right?
Absolutely.
Well, I can't wait to hear your talk, and I know you can't wait to hear her talk too, now that you've gotten the sneak preview. And we'll look forward to helping you get your happiness on at our next NANP conference.
See you there.